Our top story tonight on GRAVITAS comes from West Asia. The region remains on the boil, with the Houthis targeting Israel 3 times in less than a week. The situation has escalated to a dangerous new level. And this has left both Israel and its ally, the United States of America, absolutely perplexed. While the Israeli Prime Minister has vowed to respond, the Houthis show no hesitation in continuing their attacks. On Tuesday morning, sirens blared across central Israel as the Iran-backed Houthis from Yemen launched another ballistic missile. Reports suggesting the Israeli Defence Forces successfully intercepted the missile before it could enter the Israeli airspace using the advanced long-range Arrow air defense system. While no injuries have been reported from the falling debris, a woman is reportedly in a serious condition after falling while rushing to take shelter. The Houthis have vowed to continue their attacks until the Gaza conflict comes to an end. On Saturday, a Houthi missile strike in Tel Aviv left more than a dozen people injured. The Israeli military confirmed that attempts to intercept the projectile launched from Yemen were unsuccessful, and it ultimately struck a public park. A Houthi military spokesperson claimed the attack targeted a military installation using a hypersonic ballistic missile.
The Yemeni Armed Forces Drone Air Force carried out 2 military operations. The first targeted a military target of the Israeli enemy in the occupied Ashkelon region using a Jaffa drone. The operation achieved its goal successfully, thanks to God.
Last week, Israel's military launched deadly strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen on Thursday, just hours after the Iran-backed group's latest attack on Israel. 9 people were killed and 3 others injured in Israeli airstrikes on a port and oil facility near the capital, Sana'a. The Israeli strikes targeted the Hezaz and the Haban power stations near the capital, and the Hodeidah port and Rasisa oil facility. Israel's military said the airstrikes were in retaliation for Houthi missile and drone attacks on Israel. On Sunday, Prime Minister Netanyahu warned that Israel would respond to the Houthi rebels in Yemen with the same force it has used earlier.
As we acted with force against the terrorist arms of Iran's axis of evil, so we will act against the Houthis. Only in this case we are not acting alone. The United States, as well as other countries, see the Houthis as a threat not only to international shipping, but to the international order.
In fact, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, denies that militant groups around the region function as Tehran's proxies, warning that if his country chose to take action, it would not need them anyway.
The Islamic Republic does not have a proxy force. Yemen fights because it has faith. Hezbollah fights because the power of faith draws it into the field. Hamas and the Islamic Jihad fight because their beliefs compel them to do so. They do not act as our proxy.
So, will Israel now attack Iran? Israeli opposition leader and former Defence Minister Benny Gantz says Israel must directly target Iran to deter the ongoing Houthi attacks. The National Unity leader also called for regional nations and the US to partner with Israel to remove the threat of nuclear Iranian regime. But the question is, why is Israel struggling to counter the Houthi threats or to counter the Houthis? What has made the Houthis such a formidable force? Since at least 2009, Iran has steadily smuggled increasingly sophisticated weapons to the Houthis in Yemen. By 2015, the external operations arm of the Revolutionary Guards, in fact, was providing missile components for local assembly. These weapons, coupled with training and military advisors, have transformed the once disorganized tribal militia into a well-armed, disciplined, and formidable fighting force. By late 2023, the Houthis had gained enough confidence to launch attacks on US warships in the Red Sea, becoming the first group, in fact, to fire anti-ship ballistic missiles. Most of their attacks on commercial ships and warships failed. By mid-2024, they had launched over 100 strikes against Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Israel, Yemeni adversaries, and numerous ships in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, all with weapons supplied by Iran. The Houthis now possess missiles with a claimed range of 2,000 kilometers and drones that can reach up to 2,500 kilometers. They combine Iranian-supplied components with commercially available parts to locally manufacture their drones. On July 19 this year, they carried out an unprecedented attack on Tel Aviv using a modified Samad-3 suicide drone, flying over 1,600 kilometers indirect route from Yemen, approaching from the west. While Israel has expanded its war to Yemen, its battle in Gaza continues. Hamas's Al-Qassam brigades has warned of harm to the Israeli hostages amid the ongoing IDF operations in the besieged Palestinian enclave. The military spokesperson of the Al-Qassam brigades, Abu Obeda, in fact, said the fate of the hostages depends on the progress of the forces, the occupation forces, as he said. As he claimed, they are advancing hundreds of meters in certain areas under attack. Obeda hailed the bravery and the battlefield performance of Hamas's fighters and claimed that Israel was concealing its true loss and the dire condition of its soldiers in northern Gaza. This, as the Israeli military said that 3 of its soldiers have been killed during fighting in the Strip. All 3 served in the Kafir Brigade's Shimshin battalion. Meanwhile, Hana Kadzir, who endured 7 weeks of Hamas captivity in the Gaza Strip last year, has died at 78 after months of struggling with medical complications from her time as a hostage. Netanyahu is, however, cautiously optimistic. In fact, in a session in the parliament plenum, he said that some progress has been made in negotiations to secure the deal without actually giving a timeline. The fact is, the war in the region is showing no signs of ending anytime soon. Instead, the situation grows more complex with each passing day.